Okay, Marshall has the Stafford fire truck outside he'd like for you guys to go look at.
Stafford truck?
I think it's the one that just got done.
All right, we'll recess.
We're getting some quotes. We've had our air machine that fills air bottles out here in St. John. We got the one in Stafford going, but the one in St. John we are continuously having problems with. We're getting a quote on a new compressor and fill station, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 17 to 20,000. But I bet we've probably in the last 4 years have put close to 7,000 in the machine, and they can't. Seems like every 3 months we're having issues with it. And that was bought clear back in, it was bought when we first got the new air packs and air bottles. And that was on the green, clear back when Jason Bill was here.
That's a good one.
So it's been well used. It was the only one that the county, it's actually the only one that was in the county for the longest time until we got the one in Stafford fixed. So, like I said, we're looking at that. According to our budget and how the timeline was with everything else, this year and next year were our only 2-3 years that if we needed something before we got in on rotation of updating stuff, bottles and packs and gear. 21 and 22 are the only 2 years that we had that we didn't have anything. So whether we do it this year or the first of next year, but we're looking at it to replace it. The other thing, mobile command, we've actually finally, outside of one radio, that thing is completely set up and ready to go. So we can page from it. The only thing we're working on, we've got to put in a different radio to set the sirens off. So, outside of that, I think everything else is going smooth.
Sounds good.
That's all I got.
Compressor and radios is their next thing on it.
No, just the compressor. I
Okay.
mean, if we do anything, that would be the, outside of any unforeseen thing, that would be the big expense this year and next year. So, but that's all I have.
Okay.
Thanks.
How's the big tender truck coming?
Slow. Whole different ballgame when you're dealing with something that used to pump airplane fuel.
Right.
We found out that we're gonna have to take a bunch of stuff out in order to make it work, because they got a bunch of safety checks in there that doesn't, if you don't have the right stuff that you're pumping into, it won't pump water.
Right.
So we've got to remove a bunch of stuff out of there and do a little re-plumbing to bypass a bunch of that stuff.
Like that big huge filter and stuff
Yep,
like that.
that scrubber and all that stuff has to come out.
But as far as the pump and the motor that runs, or is that a PTO pump?
Yeah, it's PTO driven pump.
So I mean, if you just repump from the tank into the pump, I mean, eventually you'll be able to get it to
Yeah,
work.
yeah. And we actually found a company that has gone in and completely redone one of them. And they've got a breakdown of how they bypassed everything. It's 131 pages that we printed off and we're reading through it. Now, we won't go to the extent that they did, but
Yeah.
it pretty much details how to bypass all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, that's what we're working on other than that. As soon as we get that done, we'll go to Maxville.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. I saw a fellow.
Yeah, he's out there somewhere.
Want to do the minutes?
Yeah, I remember that.
Make a motion that we approve the minutes of the February 24th, 2021 meeting.
Second?
Moving second, we accept the minutes of February 24th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Phil,
Hey, Phil.
Okay.
What I came up to talk to you guys about this morning was tower down at Belvedere, sets off the NOAA radios, Stafford County, Comanche County, Kiowa County, Pratt County are all in this, everything. And all pay a portion of, pay a stipend to it every year for them keeping the tower, maintenance of the tower and whatnot. Well, this tower got inspected last fall, sometime last fall. There hadn't been inspections done on it in quite a few years. And so they had a tower service look at it. It needs some repairs. We're gonna have a Zoom meeting here at 10 o'clock. You're free to come down and sit in on it if you like. But we may have some additional costs to it. Right?
You said that tower sets off the NOAA radios?
Yeah, which is the National Weather Service.
Okay.
So if you have one of those weather radios in your house, which everybody should, I mean, just in case, it sets off in alert tones and it'll actually come on and tell you instead of bothering, your phone or something. There's so many ways to do that anymore. But this one will actually wake you up like a pager will.
Yeah.
But it will only go off for certain areas.
because it's triggered out of Dodge City, right?
Yes, Dodge City has control of that. It was just like that alert yesterday that came out on the phones. That was not supposed to happen. And this wasn't the weather, this was the weather service in FEMA in conjunction with that. And they were testing theirs and they found out they had a glitch. And so they ended up fixing that before. It didn't take very long.
Yeah, because I thought Monday was the day of the
Monday
statewide
was,
test.
yes.
And then the.
No,
Tuesday.
Tuesday was Tuesday. We tried it on Monday through and that's why I did.
Oh, okay.
They tried to do it through the mobile command.
Monday's our normal first of the month test day, they also for our department.
Okay, because I heard both St. John and Stafford sirens.
Yeah.
They're about a minute apart.
But that was for the mobile command that they
Yeah.
were trying to
You
do.
have them at your house?
I did that day. I mean, wind was blowing just right and not to where it rattled your teeth.
And that's what they do have some money in here. It has been funded since '06. They're about $13,000 in Stafford County, we pay them, and I did look, we got to pay them, we pay them $475 a year. Does that come out of our emergency management or not?
I believe so. We pay Pratt County that, don't we?
Yeah, it goes to Pratt
A
County.
second, I will go quick.
Kiowa County's is $410, Pratt County's is $1,377, Comanche County's $220, and Edwards County's $345. How they come up with this, I have no clue. It was well before I started. So that's just for general knowledge, whether.
Based on the population.
For this year, you paid $868, or for 2020. We haven't paid this year yet.
We paid $866, so the-
$868.90 is what we paid last year. It was $400 back in 2016, but it's gone up.
oh, yes, it has.
For the last 3 years, we've paid $868.90.
But so far this year, we hadn't paid.
Haven't got the invoice yet,
Oh, okay.
but I bet they're waiting on those repairs.
Yeah, so
Would be
it's
my
gone
guess.
up every year for everybody. Actually, that's on at least $2,500
It's probably just population based.
now. It probably is.
It looks like it's a percentage,
Yeah,
which
that would be my guess is what it's based on, population.
we pay 16.8%. Pratt pays 48.7, Kyle 14.5, Edwards 12.2, and Comanche 7.8. So would that be a population?
Yes, I'm pretty sure that is the weighted population. So anyway, you're enlightened about that, and I have two young guys that are,
You need to go into executive session for 2 minutes?
okay.
We need to.
Yeah, if you have anything,
Yeah, I would like to.
okay.
5 minutes, 10 minutes?
Yes, I think.
I'll make a motion that we go into executive session for 10 minutes to discuss non-elected personnel.
Second.
Then move in second, we go into executive session for 5 minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
I make a motion that we increase Brandon Hoffman's salary from range 6, step 4 to range 6, step 5, and Eric Young's salary from range 6, step 3 to range 6, step 4, effective 3/1/21.
Second that.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve the, as mentioned, motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
That was eloquent.
Lost his train of thought there.
Yeah, I was gonna try to repeat it all.
Down at the bottom, where it says chairman.
No, it says department head.
No. Philip needs to sign.
Oh, okay.
Other than that, unless you guys have something.
Sounds like the bridge is progressing.
I'm good.
They should, probably maybe be done with this guy. And we'll go down and put the asphalt on and do the backfill.
So the decking is there.
The decking is
All you
there.
have to do is put the
Just
asphalt
Put
in.
the asphalt
So we're gonna send this to the.
layer on top of it and then.
I don't know, I mean,
That's really not.
I don't think it ever should have been brought to us to begin with.
Yeah, it's really not Phil's deal either.
I could mail it to the township.
David Bunker tried to pay his taxes under protest. It's not a protestable application. But he's upset about the road east and west from Antrim Church going west. We're gonna send this, it's not really our deal as the county, and you're the contractor on it, so it's not, unless they tell you to do something, it's not really your deal either. So we're gonna send this to all the board members, just of his displeasure of the situation. And if they wanna do something, they can do something, you know.
Yeah, because I don't know what you really do with that thing.
Yeah, well, yeah. I know I had talked to some of them over the winter time and said, you know, you either need to close it, put it minimum maintenance, or do a bunch of work to it and fix it up, one or the other. But I know there is that oil lease halfway down that American Warrior dumped some rock in the first 2 holes to get the oil out. That was mentioned in this protest application, but, you know, it's one of them deals, but it's kind of a township. I mean, they need to make that decision on their own to either fix it or,
How does that work on a deal like that, when you just say, you know, really can't be anything done with the road, but then they got production on that road, and the township's taking money from it? So if the town's just.
Well, they need to keep access for them to get their product in.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that's what you have with an open road, so I mean, you have to maintain it to a quality that they can keep. And I don't know how much production's on it and how often they go down there.
It's not a lot now, you know, a couple barrels a day, so they're getting a load out, you know, once or twice a year. But over the years,
Yeah,
the county has made a ton of money, or the township and the county have made a ton of money from the lease over the years, so I would hate to just leave them out to dry.
because on the west side of that, I mean, there are some big ones.
Yeah, yeah, and I think they're just getting a half-mile line turnaround and going back.
I mean, yeah, I could understand, because that corner down to the west end would be very hard to make.
Yeah.
With a little boy.
Yeah, but we'll send this to them and
Okay.
they can do whatever they want with it, so.
Okay, yeah, because they have never expressed to us or to me
Yeah,
any desire about that road.
yeah,
Because when we first started, they talked about something, they didn't really want a lot of.
Well, it's only a mile and it's a dead end.
Yeah.
So that's part of the problem, is that it's not a through road all the way from Antrim
Well-
Church. It just goes 1 mile and it dead ends.
Well, no, it doesn't dead end.
Well, that's what I mean. The dead end's going west.
Yeah, but yeah, that's as far as it goes, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
basically, we try to take care of everything down there.
Mhm.
Because you don't want to start, in my book, you don't want to start that. It's just easier to go down or maintain it, and then that way the guys don't pay, we just go maintain it without.
Well, some of the work now is done. There's some American Warrior brought in several loads of that big stuff and put them in the holes, so.
So it just needs a little bit of
Yeah.
top dressing and whatnot.
Yeah.
like that. Okay.
Thanks, Bill.
Anything else?
That's it.
All right, thank you.
Okay, John?
Julie, you want to come up?
Morning, Nita, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing good. Morning, Commissioners.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever met, have we?
Yeah. Yeah, I was probably in the meeting last year when you were here.
Oh, I bet you
Maybe,
were. Yeah, she looked familiar,
Yeah.
but I don't think you were sitting where you're sitting today.
Yeah, yeah. Nice to meet you, John.
Same here, very much so.
John has a problem meeting people, and then a year later, he thinks that,
I won't live that down in life. That's funny. Tell you what, there's a couple reasons I'm here, but the main reason is to talk about recycling and growing it in the county. But before I do that, 2 years ago, you all voted to, instead of doing it in-house, give us the opportunity to pick up your recycling materials. Darren was hauling, or someone would haul to Hutch.
and Brett, and
Yeah, good point, that's right. And so, of course, as anything, we track numbers in regards to materials. That's the 2019, so the first year we started doing it is what that report.
And this is in tons?
These are in thousands of pounds, so 80,000, and you've got a conversion to
Oh, okay.
tons as well. And so as you see, it's growing. So the community has really embraced
These are
your
just thousands.
community drop-off location. It's worked great, as I shared a couple years ago, that our whole purpose in life is to serve those with special needs and to give them an opportunity to earn money. And we pay a minimum wage, which I think you've heard this before, but the state doesn't require that. The state says for special needs people, you don't have to pay. As an agency, you don't have to pay minimum wage, even though everybody else has to pay their employees minimum wage. And so we're pretty passionate against that. We said, wait a minute, they're a human being just as much as I am. And if I have the legal right to earn minimum wage, then they should too. So we pay minimum wage. But 14C thing's going away is my understanding. So anyway, this created 2 jobs for some special needs folks. And when we first started doing this, the contract that we all agreed to, and will continue, of course, to honor, is that we'd come at least weekly and pick it up. And then we'd haul it. We haul it to Great Bend, process it, bale it, and then we haul it the same place in Sunoco, in Hutch. And then they process it from there. And just for Bryce, you may not have seen it yet. I went in to go to the fiscal building and grab a signed copy because it's not for me important. I know we got a signed copy, but this is the content of that agreement between Sunflower and Stafford County, just so you know. And y'all pay us $175 a month. So Stafford has an interest, and Julie might want to add to what I share, but they have an interest in doing this too. They've heard of the success that St. John's having, and thought, this is kind of cool. It'd be cool to have both the major towns in this county provide a community drop-off, and so they're working on some things that I'll let her share. And so she had reached out and said, could you or would you be able to swing over and pick up our stuff too if we opened up a public drop-off for recycling? I said, yeah, and so what we'd like to do is get with the county commissioners and see what their feelings would be about, engaging us to do that as a county project as they've done here in St. John. And so that's the purpose of my visit this morning. First of all, update you that it's kind of fun to watch that your community start to really get involved in recycling. And everybody seems to be happy. Darren seems to be happy. There were some bugs we worked out at first, as with anything, but he's been good to work with. And so we're picking up quite a bit of material. And it's nice to save landfills. It really is. Because if you ever buy a new landfill, property for new landfill, property taxes go up. And so this helps protect that landfill. So with that in mind, my thought was, and to see what your thought was, is that would you be interested, first of all, to engage Sunflower to also, and oh, by the way, when we first started this, it was once a week pickup, and it's now 3 times a week, which is good. That's not a complaint. I think it's kind of neat, and it gives our clients love to get out, ride in the big truck, come by, help us load the stuff, and then take it back and process it. So it's neat to see how it's grown. So that's what I was throwing on the table for discussion and consideration, is would the county be interested in engaging us to do that pickup over there, because they're looking at opening a facility, or what your thoughts are? Do you want to add anything to that? You good?
Okay.
Okay.
Is it gonna, sorry.
Go ahead.
Is it gonna add some more jobs, do you think?
It will, because the material, we always have 1 staff member and 2 clients on the truck. And so it won't add any more positions in the actual cab of the truck, but it will when they bring it back, because then we have our clients sort the materials, help run the baler, compress it, bind it, and then help load the semi, which goes to Hutch. So it will create probably another 1 or 2 jobs, back and very done.
And you're coming 3 times a week here.
We are anywhere from 2 to 3, but it's averaging 3 on a more regular basis than not.
I do have a question on your figures.
Sure.
Was this just a typo?
Possibility?
I mean, this number here, your total for the year is
Oh,
right
no.
here.
We're gonna, that is.
Because all the numbers are the same except this number is brought over here.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. That's definitely a typo.
So this is the total?
This is the total, yes, for the calendar year 2019. Thank you, good catch. Because it's actually, 69,000 pounds.
Yeah, it's 14% increase year over year.
No, I'm good with it.
How are we gonna pay for it?
Where's the money coming from?
Everybody's gonna need it.
Currently,
It's $2,100 a year.
there's a line item in the solid waste
Solid
budget.
waste.
Let me look at that real quick.
So Julie, you have a space, is it going to be comparable to what the one is in St. John, or?
We have a space that John and Sean, who's the recycling, is that what it's?
Production, director of production, which includes
Have
recycling.
come down and looked at, so it'd be right next to the city office. They're in Stafford, so there'd be some control, but they'd be able to come and put the awards out, and have the signage, and it'd be open Monday through Friday, when the city office was available for a police officer to come and open it after hours. And then I'm also on the board of Sunflower, so what I think would be neat is to get the engagement of the clients to come down maybe once a month and, receive recycling, from 10 to noon or something on a Saturday, just because I think it'd be good advertising for them and the other services that they provide throughout the county. That's been one of my goals, and John's could probably attest to it. We had him down to the swimming pool and had a hot dog feed, just because I think people in our rural communities deserve the same treatment that, the big cities get, and it's nice if we can have those amenities, in our little towns, so.
So we'll just put,
It comes out of the the solid waste disposal fee line item, which you didn't cut by $2,000 from last year's budget. You cut Darren's budget from 127,000 to 116, but he did transfer, it would probably work. What does it say, 2,100?
2,100 a year.
and then we can address the budget deal. We need to look at theirs,
And then we
special
can-
fund by one.
Come budget time, we can adjust.
Okay.
I think that it's worth it for 100, I mean, it's a good deal.
I wasn't,
Over there.
I wasn't in favor of it at the beginning, but I mean, it is a good community service. My deal is, you know, right off the bat, I say, well, Radium and Seward and Maxville subsidizing Stafford's recycling, but St. John has it. I mean, it is a good community service, so I don't think, so I would change my mind, which you won't hear that very often.
No, you won't.
But
I don't know that that's ever happened, John.
I do think it's impressive, though, that you have, 40 tons of recyclables not going to the landfill.
That, it's a lot of material. It takes a lot of its plastic that, just never deteriorates, or takes a lot of time to deteriorate, so.
And at least you're not doing single stream. I mean, you're pretty well separated by the time it gets to Great Bend.
Yes, that's what's nice about this facility, and be the same there, is we'll bring in all the Gaylords like we have here. And then the community actually, separates it for us, which is nice. And so then most of it still has to be separated. You still get some people coming and just do this, with a trash bag full of stuff, which is fine. We'll sort it. But yeah, it's nice to have a single stream when you pick it up.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Yep.
I'm trying to figure out how my motion's gonna be, I guess. I make a motion that we enter into a recycling agreement for the city of Stafford's, recycling pickup center for $175 per month.
I second that.
Okay, the motion's been made and seconded that we enter into an agreement with Sunflower Diversified Services for recycling for $175 per month. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you very, very much.
How many clients come down the truck and they come?
How many clients come down in like each trip?
Yeah.
It rotates, it's always two clients in the truck, in the cab truck, and then they take turns. So we'll usually rotate through 6 to 8 a month that has a chance to get out on the road, take that road trip and then help with this.
And cardboard's still a big deal for you guys?
Really, you guys should sign.
So-
The other materials have really dropped the market. Since we're not for profit, a lot of cities are getting out of recycling totally, and a lot of recycling companies have declared bankruptcy. But being a not-for-profit, and we're not in it to make money, we're in it just to break even. Cardboard seems to hold its value. I mean, it's had some fluctuation. Plastics, the bottom's out. Newspaper, the bottom's out. Magazines, the bottom's out. But cardboard's still keeping the price, so that helps us stay alive.
So when you say cardboard, like the,
Corrugated.
okay, so like tubes?
Yeah, tubes are corrugated. Yes, they go in with the corrugated. They sure are.
Cereal boxes.
Cereal boxes are not. That's a non-corrugated product. But tubes, they seem to accept as corrugated, which is kind of interesting because the material. The cereal boxes has a wax finish,
Oh, yeah.
and they have to process that. And there's more expense to process that and make it reusable. But your tubes don't have a finish on them normally, and so they get put in with the corrugated.
What about egg cartons?
Egg cartons, separate material. They don't go in with corrugated. They're separate material, because a lot of times they'll have some other products in with the material. Okay, thank you very, very much.
Thank you,
You
John.
have a great day.
Are you
If
gonna
I
have
see you in
any?
2 or 3 months, I will send you a new one just for Stafford. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So you have one for each.
and Darren won't sign it, but the commission chair.
Oh, very good. Yeah, I'll find an email to you if that's okay.
Yeah,
In
that's
fact, I'll
fine.
just go ahead and sign it and then
Mhm.
scan it and send it to you. That'd be great. Thank you all very much.
Thank
I'll
you.
see you in a couple of months.
Right.
All right. Have
See
a
ya.
great day.
Okay, it's time for the annual safety test on the elevator in the courthouse. It's gonna cost
I've got a
$400.
feeling about that. One of these days, that thing's gonna have to be replaced. I imagine so.
Anyway,
It's probably past its use date.
we have it inspected, we have
I
it
know.
maintained.
I know. But when it comes to parts,
But we need to sign this agreement to go ahead and have it done.
That's $400 if it's done once a year.
We've got to do it, there's no,
Yeah. It's just like a boiler inspection.
yeah, I mean, we've got to do it. Only, we don't do it every year. I
Right.
think it's like every 2 or 3 years maybe.
But the boiler is yearly, isn't it?
Mhm, yeah, the boiler is yearly, which is good. Some counties have been rescinding their mask order. I don't know if you guys want to go down that rabbit hole or not.
I'd like to.
Do we, I mean, I guess maybe we need Shannon to come in. It's been so long since we've done any different guidelines or anything. What exactly do we have in place?
Well, this is the latest resolution. It was done last year.
I know the governor of Texas is getting backlash.
We are at 0 cases this week, which is
Mhm.
great, but, and you see more and more people.
The schools will continue to wear masks until we lift this deal.
Yes.
And I know there's a lot of teachers who are about ready to quit over this mask week. And as far as I know, they've had flu outbreaks in the school, but there hadn't been any spread in the school.
I mean, it's just, might be something to think about. I could have Shannon come in next week if you guys want to, if you want to go down that path.
Shannon will be,
I don't want to go there yet.
I don't know.
Shannon will be,
You want to wait a few more
keep
weeks?
asking for the
Yes.
next 3 years.
I don't, I'm just telling you, other counties are going ahead and lifting
Yeah.
theirs.
At least until I get my second dose.
Me too. Which is in a week.
No?
Yeah.
You get yours Friday.
Yeah.
Is that how you pronounce that? No?
Yeah, I didn't think we needed a motion for that.
Do we need a motion?
Mhm.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I just want you guys to see
Yeah,
it.
That's what
I'm
I
good
said.
with that.
No,
I'm
it's
okay.
only $400. If it's
Yeah.
over 400, yes,
Yeah,
but
okay.
I need you to sign it. There's a place I highlighted for you to sign. We still have department head valuations. Do you want to mess with them today? Want to do them next week? I'm still trying to get the sheriff to get his done and EMS.
Why don't we do them all at once then?
Do you have something, Mike?
Well, it was just this discussion about an email about firearms, and I want a week to think about it, but I don't think I have a problem with it, is my initial reaction.
Basically, yeah, you were already back in here. There's a county, and I'm sure others are doing it, but there's a county in Missouri that their commissioners adopted a resolution that says that any federal firearms laws that infringe on the Second Amendment of the county citizens will not be recognized by the county. So, say there was federal gun legislation come down the pipe about tax stamps for ammunition or for certain magazines or, anything. If they were pulled over by a county cop or a county officer, we would not prosecute those that directly infringe on Second Amendment rights. The resolution's kind of long, but.
The only issue, and I just glanced through it, the only issue that I have about it, and I think there needs to be maybe a little tweaking, it says, it keeps referring to law-abiding citizens, and so, if somebody has a prior felony,
Yeah.
there are some prohibitions that but Joe, whoever, I think, I don't have, and what I explained is, if there happens to be, if there's a federal law that's being violated and there's a federal agent in town or in the county,
Or even a state trooper, or.
yeah,
That'd be a state.
we can only do for us, but I don't have, I don't think there's a big issue, but give me 1 week just to mull it.
Yeah, sure.
So, just something different. So are we going to ask Shannon to come in on the next meeting to talk about doing away with the mask
I
mandate?
think we should at least talk to her before we just blindside her. And-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I would
Okay.
do that.
Yeah,
I just
so
want
you
you
want-
guys to think about it.
Oh, yeah,
Put her on the agenda next week.
yeah.
Okay.
we're down to 0. We're getting a lot of people vaccinated.
We're talking herd immunity.
Well, once you get to 75%, then herd immunity will kick in.
You also have to look at, is what we have arbitrary? Because it seems like 95% of the people are not wearing a mask out in public.
Yeah.
It seems like.
It's getting less and less. I mean, you go to the store,
Yeah,
I mean, the school's still strict
because it's
about it.
mandated at schools,
Uh-huh. But, I mean, and at the courthouse, if somebody asks for a mask, we give them one if they don't already have one, but we don't run them down the hall like Teresa used to and hand them a mask. We don't.
Yeah.
So,
Although there are communities that are different, like in Ottawa, we walked into a restaurant and you had to have a mask on.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah,
they
Wichita.
refused
yeah,
service
some
'cause they had
cities have their own.
No shirt, no shoes, no mask, no
Oh.
service. But you take it off as soon as you got to the table. And
That's a city thing.
Yeah.
A lot of counties are lifting their mandates, is what I've been seeing.
And I would say that it's still possible if you had a restaurant or a business that wanted to wear a
It's totally up
mask,
to you.
even though the county's not required it
Mm-hmm,
or suggested, they can do whatever they want.
mm-hmm. Yeah. It's their business. What do you think about the Kevin Davis project in here with the return air duct?
I would like to see what a bill would be, or it would be, because,
He said it'd be right at 10,000.
really, is that an air return over there?
probably,
No idea.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I never noticed that that was
I
it.
didn't either.
there's some.
But I mean, basically the way I see it, this room, if you're having conferences or speaking, it's about useless with the way it is now.
It is.
Especially in the summertime.
Mhm.
Yeah. So you just shut it off so you can hear and you either freeze to death or die of heat,
Mhm.
or you ever let it run, you can't hear your speakers.
We should probably get
Two
one of
quotes.
those, yeah.
Yeah.
The carpet guys will be back today to finish the room in there. I don't know if I can logistically get everything moved back in there for next week or not, but I'll try.
I'm wondering if we shouldn't have a bigger contractor.
Oh, yeah, we can't move in until we get the roof thing fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forget that.
Because we looked at up above, the ceiling tile up above where it's supported, and I wouldn't want it in my house, I don't think.
I'm afraid if they hang more sheetrock on there, it's gonna be more weight and not gonna last.
Well, yeah, and I think the way that it's supported now, the sheetrock might be fine for a while.
But it's
But-
gonna crack.
Yeah, it might end up all cracked out, and then we'll be in the same position, so I think we need to look at having somebody see how to properly support the ceiling before we sheetrock it.
Yeah. And we could start meeting over there.
Even before that's done.
Yeah, I mean, it's primed and painted, I don't think it's gonna fall down, it just looks bad. But I mean, we can meet over there until we find it.
Yeah,
Do you wanna talk to Samples and see if
Yeah.
he'd be interested in, if he's got an idea how to do it to where it looks good?
yeah.
Jesse's not got back to you with about the sheetrock?
No, he has.
Oh,
You
yeah.
were- You were gone. He got back, last Monday. He's 1,500 to sheetrock it with square corners.
Yeah.
But my deal is, I'm not so much concerned about the sheetrock. I'm more concerned with, we can go over and look at it again after, and we'll
The
show you.
supports.
But it's, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not good.
Yeah, I think we ought to run over there and take a look after.
Yeah.
Sure, the meeting.
So you want to hold off on these until we get them all?
That's fine with me.
Well,
I'm okay with
You
that.
mean until they do their employees?
Yeah.
I just assume do them if we're not gonna wait. Because we're evaluating them.
You're evaluating your department heads.
Yeah.
Philip, Ryan, Darren, Shannon,
Marshall,
EMS.
Teresa, and Shannon.
Yeah. Or if you wanna do them next week,
It doesn't matter to me, whatever you guys
it
want to do.
doesn't matter to me either.
We just, if we do them, we just need to call like a 30-minute executive session and go through them.
And then, like the next week, I'll have them come in and you can discuss them and sign off on it and we're done.
Okay.
Do you want to do them today or next week?
Let's do them today. Let's get it done.
Excellent.
I make a motion that we go into executive session for 30 minutes to discuss non-elected personnel.
Second?
Move the second, we go into executive session for 30 minutes to discuss non-elected personnel. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
And then we're going to, there will be no action.